Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see from the title, we're talking about sugar. It is white, sweet, and addictive. And so these segments that we'll do, we'll call Eat for Strength. Anything that we discuss in this manner, we'll call Eat for Strength. All right, but before we get started, I need you to subscribe if you haven't already, like and share the video. Hit the notification bell as well. Thank you so much. All right, let's get started. Sugar. Sugar. The average American consumes about 120 pounds of sugar in a year's time. And that's probably gone up. And 3/4 of that amount is invisible, meaning it's called hidden sugars. Hidden where you would least expect it. Sugar is everywhere, not just in sweet desserts, but in ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, baby foods, snacks, fruit drinks, bread, salad dressing, canned and dried soups, prepared main dishes, cured meats, and some canned and frozen vegetables, fruit, yogurt, peanut butter, and the popular culprit is breakfast foods. Some brands of innocent-looking cereals contain nearly 70% sugar. Wow, that's even more than milk chocolate candy Kisses. Even ordinary salt contains dextrose, which is a form of sugar. All right? Sugar became common only recently in the course of history. A single pound was once worth a week's wages. Sugar was a rare substance used mainly as a sweetener for bad-tasting medicine. Gradually, people learned more about sugar and how to make it, and new technology supplied the refining process, and the white gold became cheaper and more plentiful. Now, and because it's hidden in things that you and I can't see, we're consuming even more, not considering what you're drinking and eating that you know has sugar. You know that a can of soda, and I'm not going to name any brand, has 19 teaspoons of sugar. 19 teaspoons of sugar. One can of soda. And then I think about how I've seen this for myself. People actually putting soda in babies' bottles. They're guzzling down that carbonation and all of that sugar, just perverting their little taste buds early on in life, because this white gold is very addictive. Sugar has many different forms and names, but the two broadest and most important categories to understand are simple and complex. Now, simple sugar. So most of the sugar that we eat is a relatively simple sugar. The double sugar sucrose, or common table sugar. This is highly refined and concentrated substance extracted from sugarcane or sugar beets. In the average refining process, the raw sugarcane stalk is reduced and boiled down as to little as 1/10 of its original weight to make it table sugar. When starches, complex sugars, and the double sugars such as sucrose enter the digestive system, they are broken down into simple sugars called glucose or blood sugar. This is the sugar our bodies must have to supply its energy. The body does have a need for blood sugar. The body does have a need for blood sugar, but this can be obtained from many sources besides table sugar. Now, refined sugar is addictive. It's like a drug. They say it's more addictive than cocaine. Sugar is addictive, a sweetener, a filler, a texturizer, and a preservative, but it does not make us stronger or give us a sole source of quick energy. The fact is, we don't need sugar of any kind to have strong, healthy bodies. When too much sugar enters the system, the body suffers in many ways. Here are some better known problems associated with sugar: obesity, tooth decay, and then they give you fluoride. It's like a battle, and even the toothpaste has sugar in it. Okay. Heart disease, diabetes, hypoglycemia, and infection. I'm going to tell you a story before we move on. I have, for the last couple of years, during the season that we've been in, this last 2.5 years, I've been being very diligent about building my immune system, very diligent, taking my CMOS, taking my vitamins, taking bladderwrack, elderberry, things that were going to be very strengthening to my immune system, drinking my lemon water in the morning, just all kinds of things, okay? And I haven't even had a cold in years. And I went away, just needed a change of scenery. Even though I have a beautiful scenery, I needed a change. And I went away for the weekend. And I indulged in some desserts that were loaded with sugar. Strawberry cobbler with what I don't normally eat is dairy, and some dairy ice cream on top of it. Okay, we're talking and being real here, okay? Because no sense in playing games with you. And I ate this and I ate this, and it was so delicious. I'm telling you, and especially since my taste buds haven't had anything like that. By the time I got home, I started getting a scratchy throat. I knew something was wrong, and I knew I had done it to myself. I went to bed with a sore throat, but then it turned into a headache here in the front, the sore throat, and a fever. Then I'm thinking it's the, you know what. I suffered that for about 24 hours, and by the next day, it was gone. So my body was able to fight, but I was left with fatigue, such fatigue like you wouldn't believe. So then I ended up feeling a little funny with a tooth that the specialist had told me at the beginning of summer I needed them removed. And because I had spent so much money going to him with these other treatments, I put that off because I was paying all this money because I don't have any dental insurance, all right? Well, I think what the sugar did was enhance what was going on with that tooth, with the infection. And I ended up having to go to the dentist and have those two rear teeth removed. And the one tooth had an infection. Okay? And that kind of put me in that situation. So I'm saying infections are a cause of what sugar can do to your system. Okay? That's just a little side note of something personal because we're trying to learn here. All right? Now, let's talk about some scary statistics about sugar. Sugar has been directly and indirectly implicated in a host of acute ailments and chronic diseases is beyond controversy. Eminent research physician Dr. Edgar Howell says this, and I quote, "Sugar is the greatest source that has ever been visited upon man in the name of food. Scourge, I'm so sorry. He says, sugar is the greatest scourge that has ever been visited upon man in the name of food. I believe it should be outlawed as a poison," unquote. In spite of overwhelming evidence, life seems to be getting sweeter every day. In 1822, the average American ate 2 teaspoons of sugar a day. That's nothing hidden. Total of 2 teaspoons a day. That's 1822. Look how many, that's exactly 100 years ago. Oh, 200 years ago. My goodness. The average American ate 2 teaspoons of sugar a day. By 1870, life had sweetened to 11 teaspoons a day. In 1902, saw doubly sweet people ingesting 22 teaspoons a day. In 1980, our society had become super sweet to the tune of 35 teaspoons a day. According to research gathered by Dr. Hans Dale, international lecturer of the author of To Your Health, sugar consumption today is somewhere around 42 teaspoons a day. And that has even gone up since this was written. That's 142 pounds a year for every man, woman, child in this country. Simply put, many people eat more than their weight in sugar every day. Dr. Hans Dale continues and he says, approximately 50% of calories consumed by Americans today are empty, non-nutritional calories. According to Dr. Dale, Americans today are overfed but undernourished. That's really sad because we're considered the richest nation on earth and we're the sickest nation on earth. At a Senate subcommittee meeting, Dr. Gene Meyer, who is the president of Tufts University, stated, and I quote, "The enormous resources of advertising goes far toward the destruction of more sensible eating habits." Let me say that again. The enormous resource of advertising goes far toward the destruction of our more sensible eating habits, unquote. Just how sugary is our society today? Sugar is found nearly everywhere. Remember I said in the beginning, canned soup, pot pies, TV dinners, even bouillon cubes. This is quite ridiculous, actually. Consumer Union found that hot cocoa mix to be 80% sugar. 82% sugar just in the cocoa mix, the powder. So that's less cocoa than there is sugar. Coffee mate, 65%. Shake and bake, the barbecue style, 51%. Heinz ketchup, 30%. Hamburger helper, 23%. Cool Whip, 21%, etc., etc., etc. It just goes on and on. And sugar by any other name, such as sucrose, dextrose, glucose, lactose, maltose, fructose, honey, corn syrup, high fructose corn syrup, molasses, is still sugar. Calorie rich, nutritional poor, and fattening. And that is from, and I unquote, To Your Health by Dr. Hans Dale, page 44 and 45. And remember I said it's even in your salt. It's not in my salt because I use pink Himalayan, but regular table salt, there's dextrose in there. You want to do what you can to read labels, get as much information as you can, and eliminate the sugar, the added sugars especially, from your diet. Based on the facts that we just read from, it is not surprising that soft drinks can average of 19 teaspoons of sugar per can. As if that's not enough, damaging enough, consider that the average American consumes almost unbelievable, are you ready for this? 547 sodas every year, according to the Beverage Making Corporation. We're floating in sugar. I could go on and on, but this is just a taste of a series that we're going to do about things of this nature, calling it Let's Eat for Strength. Okay, and that comes from Ecclesiastes. Sugar is an addictive substance, and we have to get rid of it as much as possible out of our diets, especially the hidden sugars. we can see, you know what, go back and look at some old TV shows. And I'm talking about Welcome Back, Carter, Room 222. I guess you could go back to the Cosbys, that's years ago as well. And notice all the young people, everybody. It wasn't just because they were actors and actresses. Our society was thinner, okay? Just so you know, we were a lot thinner, and so we have to get back lean, and we're gonna have to start reading labels and cutting out things that's gonna be detrimental to our health. Because, and I tell you what I do, a lot of times when I go on a fast, a long fast, it is so amazing. Once you start introducing mono foods back into your diet, things that you would normally not like and think that was not sweet enough, or it would be too sweet, because you've cleansed your palate and your system, and now the things that are naturally sweet are very sweet to you until you start introducing those foods back into your diet. So anyway, I hope this was an interesting topic. I hope you learned a little bit about the sweet, white, and addictive sugar that we're all bombarded with. And until we meet again in the next video, may the grace of God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ be with you all. Shalom.